against all evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
Consumption of Earth has been reduced by 36.8%. There are concentration on your heart. The gathering of Hell Priests is located just above your location. My scans indicate there is a lift at the center of this facility. dimension now.
I cannot see now. Am I the father comprehended?
You must get the other teleporter rings aligned before it's too late. The gate must be reactivated. The longer the icon of sin is on Earth, the stronger he will become.
I am full of sandwich, and I am coming for you! I am full of sand... I am full of sandwich! I am full of sand...
By awakening the icon of sin inside her land, the seal has been broken. Now the demons will pass through the void as never before. Warn your people and this lonely place eternal damnation. But it was arrogant to bring the dormant icon here. Her hubris has shattered paradise. Things fully aligned. The dimensional gate to Earth is now open. Get to the landing platform and pass through the portal. Earth does not have much time left.
Work today is broken. Every day, people juggle so many different tools just to get work done. A simple
Team Fortress 2 drank the immortality potion. Despite being older than time itself, Team Fortress 2 is a game that I could never imagine not being somewhat popular. No matter how many obstacles are thrown at the game, TF2 always somehow manages to overcome it and remain on top even after nearly 2 decades. If you went back in time to when this game released and told me that in 2025 people would still be playing this game, I would probably say goo goo gaga I'm too. But there has to be a reason for this continued success, right? No game can fluke its way to eternal life unless it's Fortnite, so what does this game do differently than others? How are people still making content on this hat-filled antique? And most importantly, who thought it was a good idea to add Sniper to the game? Well, after hours, days, and even minutes of thinking, I think I've narrowed it down. This is why TF2 will never die. Subscribe for more! Now, I must admit, I was very late to the TF2 party. For some sick and twisted reason, I was a child at some point and was too busy eating Play-Doh and being flipping adorable to realise that I was missing out on class-based first-person shooters. I think it was around 2016 when I started playing, so yeah, I basically missed all the updates. But that doesn't matter because I fell in love with this game. Without even having anyone to play it with, I would sink hours and hours into this game. Whether I was consistently doing bad in casual, not playing competitive, or begging for literal pennies in trade servers. And I feel like a lot of people share this sort of experience with this game. This isn't some game you play for a week and then forget about, no. TF2 basically injects itself into your bloodstream. And now congratulations, years later you are now watching this video. Now, I could go over all the cool stuff that makes this game great, but that's already been done before. Hell, even I've already done that. No, what I want to cover are the deeper reasons as to why this game continues to resonate with people. And the first thing that hooks people in is the game's personality. Through giving the game any character with it. A lot of people share this sort of experience with this game. This isn't some game you play for a week and then forget about. And the first thing that hooks people in is the game's personality. A lot of games nowadays feel like they were manufactured in a lab to be as bland as possible, focusing more on good graphics and easy to understand gameplay, rather than actually giving the game any character. Oh, you play as a guy in armor in space/the future. Quick, shoot the big alien monster guy, RTX on! In an industry filled with games like this, Team Fortress 2 stands out as something different, with the most obvious example of character being whoop-de-doo, the characters. Every single class in this game is just oozing with personality, which is shown both seamlessly in-game through voice lines and taunts that don't get in the way of the gameplay at all, and in the incredible Meet the Team videos. These short animations don't even show off any gameplay. They are purely made to showcase the personalities of Team Fortress 2's characters, and how each role they serve is important to the game, like the Heavy being the team leader, the Scout being the immature speedster, and the Pyro being hecking Chungasing adorkable. They didn't have to make these videos. Nobody would ask for this if they never existed, and yet they made them anyway, which further shows how much care was put into make sure these characters remain relatable and recognizable for years to come. The 9 classes' personalities are so apparent that you can't help but almost feel like the character you're playing. The Scout, ah, you suck, I'm better than you. Okay, run away. The Soldier, oh, say can you see? The Pyro, the Demo Man, the Heavy, the Engineer, the Medic. Okay, heal you. Yep. Okay, then over here. Yeah, everything's fine. This is all good. Yep, this is okay. Yeah, it's going well. The Sniper. Nice. The Spy. Oh, I'm French. The TF2 classes are by far the most iconic set of characters in any game I've ever played. played. And I think that is a huge reason as to why this game has continued to thrive. I'm sure there are people out there who know these characters, have seen the Meet the Scene videos and know each of their personalities, and haven't even played the game. That's how strong this game's mascots are. And yet, the amount of personality doesn't stop with the characters. It is all over the game. Firstly, it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It knows the gameplay is goofy and fully embraces it. This is something I wish more games would do, as there's nothing more exhausting than a title that treats itself like it's meant to be experienced in a dark room in pure silence. The items are ridiculous, often don't make any sense, and are occasionally fish. The descriptions of certain weapons contain humorous references or lore that, once again, didn't have to exist yet does. And the maps and game modes have you take on tasks such as sending a man's haunted corpse to hell, pushing a drill into a bread monster on the moon, Egypt. Additionally, the cartoony art style allows map makers to push the limits of what's possible in the game's universe, and furthermore means this game still looks great to this day, as it never attempted to be this hyper-realistic, gritty shooter, and did something different. It made itself look silly. This game's pure disregard for seriousness makes it almost impossible to not enjoy yourself while playing. Like, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Team Fortress 2 was never afraid of being itself in an industry full of boring shooter games. And while obviously it's not the only game to ever have done this, I'm not saying TF2 is the greatest thing to ever grace this earth, because that would obviously be the Muser YouTube channel, but you have to respect this game for its immense amount of character. Speaking of respect, please respect this seamless segue into the sponsor of today's video, Raycon, by Opera, and also come with the wireless 20% scheduled video. Why do you have a video schedule? Back in 2007, TF2 was only available through the Orange Box, a game bundle that contained 3 of the greatest games ever made. Oh my god. It sold really well and was a big success for Valve. However, Team Fortress 2 was kind of overshadowed by the other featured titles. People would buy the bundle for Portal and Half-Life, not for TF2. Later down the line, the game became available by itself for $10, which attracted a bit more attention, but it wasn't until 2011 that everything changed. Team Fortress 2 became free. Now these days, that means absolutely nothing, because now there's pretty much an endless list of free games. But in 2011, a free online shooter game was unheard of. This ain't no Club Penguin where you just play it on a browser or something. This was a full-on AAA video game you could download and play for free. Valve probably looked insane to every other developer out there, because silly Gabe, how are you going to make money if the game don't cost any? And then it basically invented microtransactions. In-game, you could spend real-world money to purchase weapons, cosmetics, taunts, and more. And while this is a format that's very normal nowadays, back then this was very unique for a game as big as this. Yeah, it did not invent this model, but TF2 really showed the world how the free-to-play model could work out on a huge scale. People would get the chance to actually play the game for a while before spending any money, and then they got to make a decision on whether they wanted to splurge on a cool hat or a Man vs Machine ticket or a cool hat. And not only did you get this choice, this game also had an actual economy. Players could freely trade items between each other without Valve interfering, which allowed this game to economically blossom and give in-game items real-world value. That's right, I'm talking real dollar. And fast forward to current year, and there are items in this game worth thousands of real-life dollars. Sure, yeah, the Counter-Strike trading market is bigger, but TF2 did it first. Also, I'm pretty sure most Counter-Strike players have gambling addictions. This free-to-play accessibility, paired with a huge item economy, made this game both extremely easy to get into and worth spending your money on if you were interested in either simply customizing your character or even possibly making an actual profit. Sure, it's no crypto stock market, but I'd say it's much more fun to trade items worth literal pennies than my house. This game won't die because there's an actual economy beneath the surface. But there is one thing that's more important that's keeping this game alive, something that isn't even directly a part of the game, and that is the culture behind it. If you've used the internet before, which I'm gonna boldly guess you have definitely seen TF2 pop up somewhere. Whether it was one of the characters in an animation, or a meme, or one of the many fantastic songs from the soundtrack, there is no chance you haven't come across something TF2 related online, even if you've never played the game. And that's both down to the tools available to create content based around it, and the insanely passionate and creative community this game has obtained. If someone says they play TF2, that doesn't mean they just hop on it every now and again, no. TF2 players live and breathe this game. They stick by this game for years and years, both playing it and spreading the game's culture through discussion, artwork, videos, animations, what have you. I'm not exactly sure what it is about this game that attracts such insanely creative people. It could be the art style, or the funny characters, or something else. But it's as if Valve somehow predicted that this game would attract extremely talented people, as they've given people so many ways of making TF2 content. For example, Source Filmmaker, an entire 3D animation software that just flat out gives you tons of assets from Valve games, predominantly TF2, once again for free, allowing anybody to create artwork and animations. Someone even made an entire 1 hour and 48-minute movie in it called Emesis Blue, and it is genuinely one of the best films I've ever seen. Not just best TF2 animation, best film. It is insane what is possible within this program. And not only is the community passionate about making content about this game, they're basically developing it too. While Valve has been on their 7-year vacation,